And now some Mattel 70's awesomeness. Pulsar Man and Big Jim's Big Jack coming up right now.
Other day. Now I do have some pickups that I've had for quite a long time. We're talking like back in, let's see, January? Yeah, December. I've had these for a while. I just, it is what it is. Okay, but needless to say, this is Mattel awesomeness at a high level. The first figure, of course, is a Big Jack. Mattel's Big Jack, which came out in 1971, 72, 3 overseas, and lasted a little bit longer because people tend to forget that Mattel's Big Jim lasted all the way to 1987, primarily in the European marketplace. Here in America, it ended in 1978. Big Jack Red Shorts, which is the 71 version, is predominantly extraordinarily difficult to get affordably, meaning that 9 out of 10 times, if he's got no clothes at all, just a naked figure, he's ridiculously expensive. I kid you not, it's silly. And they don't come up that often at all. If you want just Big Jim by himself, there's a plethora of them available at all times. But let's get to it, shall we? All right, this is coming from Little Rock, Arkansas, from Jeannie. Thank you very much, Jeannie. She had this as a best offer, and we agreed on it, which I thought was fantastic. I got this for $35 all in, which is awesome and incredibly cheap when it comes to Big Jack. Big Jack on the average, naked, he goes for about 60 bucks. Yeah, I kid you not. It's crazy. You would think they made just as many Big Jacks as they did Big Jeff, Big Josh, and of course Big Jim. But in a vending case, for distribution in the toy stores, there would be approximately 8 Big Jims, and everybody else would be kind of in between title, like 6 and 8, but predominantly Big Jim himself would be the one most in the vending case. But here he is. Look at him. It's Arctic time. Oh, God, it's cold out here. Oh, hey, where's he going? Hey, you come back here. All right. And like I said, this is how I asked her because I wanted to make sure, does he have red shorts? Because the red shorts version is predominantly 71, 72, 73-ish. Because when the Olympics occurred in 1975, he was the only figure other than Big Jim to have Olympic shorts. And I've got 2 of those. Fairly easy. And that one is the more common one to acquire, honestly, is the Olympic version from 1975. The 1971 version is a lot more tougher to get. All right, now let's make sure his arm works. I got to take the jacket off in order to test that theory. All right. Because, if it doesn't swing well enough, well, that's going to suck. All right, we're working on it here. You got to remember now, I'm 55 years old, for Pete's sakes. I'm not a little kid anymore, so it's a little harder to take clothes off of a figure as opposed to the good old days. Okay, let's get him all straight here. He does look awesome in those jeans. Love it. Those cool boots. All right. Now what you do is he's a hard head too. Yeah, he's hard head figure. The very, very first versions that came out were soft. They were very squishy heads. He doesn't have a lot of give, so he's probably 72, 73 time frame. Always remember, when you're looking for Big Jack in the wild, squish his head a little. If it gives none at all, that's a later version, 72, 73 roughly. All right, let's get his arm up here. His hand. Straighten him out a little. All right. Okay. Oh yeah. See, I always check this stuff. I learned my lesson. I'm fairly new to collecting Big Jim Mattel. In the beginning, I didn't realize that sometimes kids got a little too anxious with this, and so the chop motion wouldn't work as good. Yeah, that's more than adequate for me. Okay, that's it for Big Jack. Stay tuned here in just a minute with the magic of editing, the other figure, which is also Mattel awesomeness. Here it comes in just a minute. Ooh, Scooby-Doo Andy. There he is. Now this is a one and done Mattel toy. Now in 1975, Kenner's massively successful $6 Million Man series of toys flew off the toy shelves. From 75 to 76, approximately 2.3 million Steve Austin figures sold. Wow. So Mattel saw what Kenner was doing going, oh, hey, we need to get a little bit into that. Well, they developed this figure approximately, I'd say, maybe late 1974, mid 75. That was the development stage for this Mattel figure and was released in 1976. He's bigger than Steve Austin. I mean, he's a buff dude, to say the least. But this is Pulsar Man, the ultimate man of adventure. And they only produced 3 items. Pulsar himself, Hypnos, his only villain, and his life care support system, or supply system, something like that. I keep forgetting, which I have all 3. It didn't take long to finish the toy line, because just 3 items is it. Now, the most common problem with this particular figure happens to be his fake blood system. He has a pumping mechanism, just like the Big Jack figure I showed a minute ago, on his back, which will make his lungs, heart, and blood move throughout. He has intestines, which, you know, the blood circulates through and everything. Very inventive, creative figure for action figures for kids like myself back in the 70s. So let's get to her and make sure he looks good when we pump him. See his heart, lungs going. Okay, this of course is coming from Reading, California, just a couple states down yonder, from Jacob. Thank you very much, Jacob. Jacob happens to be an actual biologist teacher, or home econ, whatever. There's a name for it. Life teacher, I don't know what they call it. I'm screwing it up, but he mainly got this so he could showcase the human anatomy kind of structure, like Da Vinci's drawings of the anatomy and everything, that kind of thing. And yeah, I got this for 20 bucks, yeah, which was a great deal. And I'll tell you why. All right, oh, I'm good. Oh, I'm opening them up upside down. You dork. Oh well, let's see, we'll do this carefully because I don't want to cut myself. All right, we're good now. We're freeing him from his tomb of plastic. All right. Oh, man, awesome job. Look at that. He went all out. I appreciate that very much, Jim. Oh. Wow. It looks a little better than the one I have in storage. I do have a lot of toys in storage. All right, take a look at him. This is Mattel's unfortunate one and done Pulsar Man, the ultimate man of adventure. Look at him. He's in great shape. Just to make sure his legs work pretty good. All right. Wow. And let's see if I can get his blood moving. Look at that. See that? Blood, his heart is pumping. Yeah. See, unfortunately, kids got a little over aggressive with the trigger on the back, and after a while, the blood would out of the inside there, and that's kind of a bummer. But and let's see. Always be careful when you open his face mask, because that's inside there where his information discs would go in. And now, through the magic of editing, we will put him in his costume. Stay tuned. Scooby-Doo ending. No, Scooby-Doo in the middle. Okay? Woo! And we're back. Look at him. Doesn't he look awesome? His boots, snazzy outfit. Yeah. Now, technically, it appears to be that he's considered an android with human components. Not technically bionic, but he has something like that. They gave a very vague description of his backstory. Of course, here are his mission discs. You know, I will put them in his head. I wasn't gonna do it, but here I will show the discs. Now, as children of the 70s, you're supposed to use your imagination for each one of these discs where he would do something. You know, like, let's say this one is land and air and sea, or no, sea, air, and this is like land adventures. So that's it for my Mattel Awesomeness for this month. Thanks, everyone. Bye.